him in, everybody. The man, the myth, the legend, the ferret friend, DatFerretGuy.
Hello.
Hey! Look at all the cats in the background. It's cat heaven. Cat heaven.
And ferret.
And ferrets. Who is
That's
this?
Tanner.
It's Tanner.
That's Tanner.
Should have guessed.
I woke her up. Tanner says hi.
So small. Oh, what a cutie.
She's like, Dad, why the fuck did you wake me up?
Chat saying he got formal.
I did. I thought this was an interview for the full-time streaming position, right? That's what we're doing here?
Uh-oh. We don't have a budget for that. we gotta get some grants going. Cats.
There we go.
Cats and
There we
ferrets.
go.
That'll get some money rustled up, right?
I'll start writing up a paper and get a thesis going here.
Oh damn.
Oh shit.
Well,
Taggy.
how are you?
How's everybody doing? I'm good. I'm good. And we
Yay.
just finished a Plague Tale on stream. That
How
was
was
fucking
it?
fun. Amazing. Really brutal. Really kind of an abrupt ending, kind of a weird ending,
Really?
but otherwise a really great game. I highly recommend it. There's some great pig nuts that you can see in that game too.
Yes, I saw that clip.
we got a clip on my channel of that if you're interested. That was probably the most surprising moment of my life this year so far, was packing piggies.
the
Something else, man.
It's only May, so who knows what's coming next?
Shit.
Can we cop this?
Uh-oh. I don't know. That might be peak Twitch for me. That might be all she wrote. It's all downhill from here, you know?
Yeah, well, I've often asked during these interviews, oh, you know, what's a highlight for you for streaming? So that would have been your answer.
Yes.
Piggy nuts.
The pig nuts, best stream moment. No, I don't do a lot of like blind streaming, like blind play game that I haven't played before, so I don't often have chances to capture like genuine reactions to things, and that was the perfect example of like why I should play more games I've never played before on stream.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love watching that sort of thing too. Like that shock, seeing the streamer experience things.
The genuine reaction,
Yes!
yeah, exactly. It's always nice,
It's good,
and you can
it's
kind of like there's something to be said for, you know, like doing a game you know front to back and like explaining things and talking through it and stuff. But
Yeah.
it was really fun to just step back and kind of experience something new with all of my viewers for once.
Yes.
It's something I don't do very often. So
How long was the playthrough, would you say? About like, oops.
we went about 11 and a half hours on Tuesday, from Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and then there was about 2 hours today to finish it up. But I was a little rusty to start, so you probably could have knocked like a half hour off of that if I had just done it yesterday.
Oh, not too bad.
But I spent a bunch of time this morning playing Sekiro instead. So.
Oh, so you're still going. Oh yeah, you mentioned you're gonna do speed runs.
Yes.
Yeah?
I'm actually learning the Sekiro speedrun right now. Are you a fan of speedruns, Tag? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
I've watched a couple
Let
of
me ask you
Pokemon
who you
ones, which probably sounds weird, but
No, not at
they're
all.
fun. It's fun to watch.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd play one. But yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at usually. But yeah, speedruns have always been a real passion of mine as far as like things I like to watch, things I like to study. Glitches in games are particularly interesting to me. I remember back when I was a kid, I think the first game I ever exploited a glitch on was The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, the black and white version. There was a glitch in there where you could open up the map by hitting select when you transition screens, and it would pop you to the other, like, the pixel you left the first screen on is the pixel you would end up on the opposite side of the screen where you should be on the next screen.
Whoa.
And you could jump over the wall and get into like the out of bounds areas and kind of just break the entire game. You can explore the map like as it's coded in the memory. So, but if this sounds fun, make sure you have the flippers, because out of bounds is entirely water.
Oh,
It's the weirdest thing. I don't know why that is.
Wow.
But yeah, if you don't have the flippers, you are not going to get very far. You're just going to get stuck.
How did you find
But
out
that was
about that?
I to be honest, I was probably like 7 or 8 years old. I don't even know at this point. It must have been. It was probably like a magazine, like a Nintendo Power or something. You remember those, where they would have like the cheats and stuff. I think, or maybe one of those little cheat books. Okay, I can almost guarantee it was one of those little cheat books that you could buy at the bookstore for like $7 back in the day. You remember those?
Yeah.
And they would have all the codes and like all the glitches and all the exploits. Yeah, it was like cheating before the internet, you know?
Yeah, because
how did they do that?
I remember like trying to look up things and they were all fake, and it was like press A B up down, like that sort of thing.
Oh my god, right? Remember all the rumors they would have for the old games, like Mortal Kombat. The first Mortal Kombat had all these crazy rumors, like you can play as fucking Goro and stuff in Mortal Kombat 1. You could play as Smoke in Mortal Kombat 1. I think that was actually Mortal Kombat 2 where they added Smoke in.
Oh wow.
But I remember like there was so much hidden shit in those games and no real way to like gather information in one place effectively as a kid, especially, you know?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't really be able to tell the difference between, say, you know, a fake cheat that you see that somebody's like, oh my god, you can fucking play as Goro through the campaign or through the story or the story of Mortal Kombat 1, you know, versus, well, if you know, what the fuck was the Sonic code? I forget what the Sonic code was. I'm like the worst gamer ever right now. That was going to be my example, though, was the level select in Sonic 1. Mm-hmm. That's a real one that back in the day you could do pretty easily. But yeah, my point being, you could never really tell. And so I kind of like, sometimes I get a little nostalgic for those days, you know, where you kind of just like let your imagination run wild.
Well, it was like, so exciting because you feel like, oh yeah, this is going to be the code that works. You're just like,
right?
Oh, and you're putting it in.
Exactly. And then when it finally works, you're like, oh my god, it actually, I gotta call my best friend. It works, you know, like pick up the fucking phone off the wall and dial the fucking, you know, like the rotary thing.
Okay.
Oh wow, half of chat is like, what the fuck's a rotary phone? What, a phone on the wall? What is he talking about?
We had one in the cupboard, but we didn't actually use it, so we've never actually used it.
Oh man, I remember we had one of the ones when I was really little where it was the box that sat on the table and you turn the dial on it. And like it had the two hooks, like literal hooks the phone sat on, so you could very loud clicking sound when you were pushing it.
So there was no like undercover calling of friends at
no,
like 12
not
a.m.
at all. Well, we managed that too. I also remember running up some particular charges on the phone bill for some 900 numbers that I may have seen on cable TV late at night when my parents were in the basement hanging out. Yep. Whoops, Mom, I have no idea what Hot Sex 9 is. That number, I never dialed that. It says like the one 10-year-old boy in the house.
The only likely person to have done it.
Dude, like, okay, yeah, it was your 5-year-old sister, sure. No, it was Dad. Nah, I wasn't clever enough to blame Dad. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm like just babbling away here. I'm running this interview down. I'm running the show right now.
Memory lane.
Yeah, right.
So, there's so many things I could ask about to start with, but let's go with DatFerretGuy. How did it all start with ferrets? And yeah, like you have real ferrets.
I do. I have 4 real ferrets right now. The one you just met, that's Tanner. Ferrets, I have a very vivid memory of when I was 16 and I had my driver's permit, so I was like getting my driving hours in, you know. It's an American driver's license thing. I'm not sure if it's the same over in Australia, but similar. Okay. Well, I drove out to this little village outside the little village I lived in growing up in Upper Michigan, and they had a pet store, and I stopped there on a whim. And there was a bunch of like food and stuff up in the first floor, and I asked the owner, I was like, "Do you have any cats or anything I could pet?" And yeah, let's go to the basement. In the middle of the basement, I remember there's this table with a big cage on it and these 4 ferrets in there, and I'd never seen ferrets before. And they, like, the moment I walked into the room, he flipped the light on, they all, like, perked up, came up to the cage, fucking were literally standing on their back legs, and I'm like, what are these? Those are ferrets. I'm like, can I pet them? He's like, yeah. So he's like, and I remember this, he's like, get ready. I'm like, what? And he opens the cage, and they just one by one, like, whoop, whoop, like start hopping over towards me, and they start kissing my face, and they were like the friendliest ferrets. And I just totally fell in love. Like, I went home and I asked my mom if we could get a ferret. She said, hell no. I was like, okay. And then I waited till I was 25, 26 or something, and then finally decided it was time to try out ferret ownership, and I've never looked back. It's the best choice of my life.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Like, I love cats, I love dogs, don't get me wrong, but I'm like a ferret guy, like, through and through. They are such unique, amazing animals with such huge personalities. If you've never interacted with a ferret, like, one-on-one, or oh man, are they legal in Australia? I know in New Zealand I don't think they are.
You might have to get a license, but I'm not actually sure. Oh, Sinpure says yes, they are in most states.
Okay, nice.
There you go.
Nice. Yeah, if you haven't had a chance to interact with a ferret, you definitely should. You know, some people have a bad experience. Some people think they stink. I don't think they stink. It depends on the diet and how often you clean their litter boxes up, you know. But sometimes you get a bitey one. You know, some people have a bad experience. They're like, oh, I petted a ferret once. It just bit the shit out of me.
Yeah, I think that's all animals though.
Like that. That's true. Yeah, and some ferrets will socialize out of that if you work with them, but some ferrets are just like, I had a ferret named Splotch who was my second ferret ever, and he was just the bitiest little guy. Like, his whole life, he loved to bite. He bit my mom's butt while she was using the toilet one day, and she has never let me live that down. Oh my god.
I wouldn't either, to be fair.
Do you remember that time? Kent, do you want to know why I don't like ferrets? Do you remember that time? Yes, Mom. Yes, I remember that time.
Oh, that's sweet.
So yeah, that's ferret origin story. That's how it all started for me. So grew up with cats my whole life, but ferrets just stole my heart. Never gave it back. So
chat is shocked at your name. You said your name.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You have a name?
This is an intimate session with DFG.
The real.
How y'all doing, everybody?
The real tea.
the real.
And you have two kitties behind you, just chilling.
I do. This is Bruno.
Oh, I love him.
Mr. Pig. Bruno's a kissy boy.
Oh wow, I didn't ever know.
He likes cute kissies. This guy snuggles with me every night.
Aww.
He waits for me to get snuggled into the blankets, and then he jumps up and has his little spot next to me by my side.
Oh, that's so cute.
He always goes to sleep with me.
How old are they?
They are going to be 13 later this year.
I didn't even know they're so old.
And this is Azzy. This is Azrael over here.
Oh, I love him.
Oh.
Oh, they're so sweet. Yes, everyone's asking for Azzy ASMR.
They would.
It's the best.
I don't know why he won't let go.
He's such a big boy.
16 pounds of cat.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Say hi. He's like, nah, I was sleeping. Ow!
Yeah, bite him.
This guy is like the coolest cat. This guy was actually feral when he was younger. He came from a barn. He did not have a lot of human interaction. My friend rescued him from like the owners of the barn, and when he was just about a year old, I think, his brother Snarf was feral, like, I don't want to fucking have anything to do with people kind of feral. To the point where, like, when I took Azzy and Snarf in from my friend who rescued them from the barn because he had a dog and he couldn't afford the cats. Snarf did not last very long. Snarf ended up having like a blockage in his urinary tract that we couldn't Yeah, we couldn't. There was it. I won't go into the shitty details, but he was too far gone at that point. But he hated people, and Azrael, on the other hand, came from the same environment, and he loves people. As you can see, he's just like digging the hell out of this. He's like, he thinks I'm talking to him. I bet. He's like, oh, Dad.
Tell me how great I am, Dad.
Should have just named myself Dat Cat Guy, you know?
Well, then you need more cats than ferrets.
This is true. This is true. Uh-oh, is that a ferret? Is that a ferret? All right, dude, you gotta go. You gotta go. Oh.
Do the cats and the ferrets get on?
They do, actually.
I believe it.
Azzy's pretty ambivalent. Bruno, on the other hand, kind of likes being chased around. Boo Bear likes to chase Bruno all over the house. He'll jump on Bruno's back, and he'll bite Bruno's butt. And Bruno will just put up with all of it because he's a good sport. Yeah, my first ferret I ever had named Skillet, he used to fuck with Bruno. They would play together a lot when they were both young. And yeah, so Bruno is more like interactive with the ferrets, whereas Azzy's just kind of doesn't give a fuck. He'd rather not
He's so chill.
deal with it, I don't think. Yeah, he doesn't care. He will give him a bop, though. He'll give him a little smack on the head if they try to encroach on his territory.
Oh, that's cute.
We just have a parade of animals right now.
Yes.
This is Boo Bear.
Boo Bear!
Boo
Oh,
Bear.
he's sleepy.
He's a big sleepy boy. This is my big deaf boy.
No.
He's a big baby. Oh, I get kisses.
Oh,
I have
so
lucky
cute.
lips. He's big too. He's 4 pounds. 4 pounds of man ferret.
Is that big for a ferret?
Yes. Celia, by comparison, is she was 1.25 pounds when I brought her home.
Wow.
She's tiny though, so she's small for a ferret. He's big for a ferret. Tanner and Cinnamon are about 2.5 pounds in there, so they're like average sized ferrets.
Laser says, Dat Ferret Cat.
That ferret cat. Oh my god. So was that like half cat, half ferret? Is that what we're talking here?
Yeah, it's you. You're a hybrid. What?
How did you know?
It wasn't me who found out. Don't blame me.
All right, let's continue. Let's carry on. I've been outed. Fuck.
How did you?
Actually.
Oh, go on.
Sorry, go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say I forgot my coffee. Can I go?
Yeah, go grab
real
it.
Quick, grab that.
Essential.
Okay, 1 second. Keep him company, Azzy. And be.
Azzy's gonna take over the stream. Azzy interview. Well, if anyone in chat has any questions, let me know. I'll put them in here. In the second half of this, we're going to. You're pressing.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, he's back. That was good.
Thanks. You alright, bud?
He's back. Well, I'd like to
1
ask.
second, I can't hear you without the headphones.
Oh yeah, you gotta hear me. Hello.
Hello. I can hear you now.
We weren't talking badly about you at all.
Never. I don't believe you. No. All right. So I got my coffee
Oh,
now.
that is a huge cup.
This is a mug provided by Bev Hills. Actually, this is a gift from her.
The snuggle is real. I love it. That's so good.
It's perfect. And it's a massive cup. She was like, I hate watching you drink coffee out of pint glasses. So she got me this gigantic mug the size of a pint.
Oh, that's so good.
Perfect.
Well, how did you get into streaming? What got you started?
How did I get into streaming? Okay, well, I first started streaming off the PS4
Oh, wow.
in about 2014, if you can believe that. I did not do it very seriously. I streamed maybe a dozen times, maybe a little more, a little less.
Wow.
Mostly just doing Dark Souls 2 glitches and dicking around with the speedrun. Dark Souls 2 was like all I played for about a good 2 years of my life.
Wow.
Amazing game. But that was what I started on. And then when I seriously started streaming, it was last summer. It was probably about a year ago this month, actually.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's crazy. It's right around the end of May, I think, is when me, Barles, and Luthamir all started streaming together. So really what spawned this is I blame Barles Charkley X. He is the one who was like, Kent, I want to stream. And I was like, that sounds good. I used to do that. I did that a little bit. We could do something with this. Right? I started streaming 3 years ago. That's cool. No, so I don't know. I don't remember the exact train of thought, but basically, you know, like I love playing games. Why not hang out with? I love hanging out with people while I play games. Why not do both at the same time? You know, combine my efforts. So yeah, we started streaming. What the hell did we start playing? I think one of the first things we streamed was multiplayer Raft.
Wow.
That little indie game where you're on a raft in the most polluted ocean ever to exist. And you just gather your resources out of the water and expand and survive, that kind of thing. We used to do that, and then yeah, it just kind of took off from there. Barles bought Throne of Lies, gifted me a copy, and the rest is fucking history, man.
Is history, yeah. I think I met you through Gavarok, fellow Throne of Lies streamer. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think most of the crew I know in like your circles, Ted, comes from like Throne of Lies crew for the most part.
It was kind of.
I think that's how I met you.
Yeah, kind of lucky that you were awake at that time because the time zone's very different.
Yeah, that was actually just kind of that wasn't like planned. It just kind of happened because I was working a third shift job at FedEx when I started streaming that summer, and then I ended up quitting that job after a couple months, and I still had that sleep schedule where I would sleep during the day and I'd get up at about like midnight, 1 a.m., be ready to go to work. So I just figured, why not start streaming? Like I just started playing Throne during those hours, and turns out people wanted to watch Throne during those hours. So, you know, it worked out pretty well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you stream mainly Throne of Lies. Bit more variety at the moment. Yeah, more variety nowadays. I wanted to expand a little bit, so we've been kind of branching out into some other things. It's liberating. Yeah, you liking it?
I really like it. Yeah, it's I felt like I was kind of getting painted into a corner, if that makes sense. Like I felt like if I didn't play Throne, no one was gonna want to watch me, and so I just kept playing Throne and keeping this shitty attitude in my head about it. And it got to the point where I just kind of burned out, and some life stress, some life stuff was stressing me out. Come about March, and I just said fuck it for April. I decided I would just kind of take a break for a little bit. So I've been doing Throne like once a week consistently for a while now, but really it feels great to be able to play other things and still, you know, have people want to hang out with me. I was pretty nervous about that. I'll be totally honest with you, Tegs. Like, it took me a while.
How did you like work up the courage, you know, to say, right, today's not Throne, and maybe tomorrow won't be.
I think that's exactly how it was for a good while too. I think just it took me getting so fed up with like. It wasn't just the state of the stream, it was life stuff and the fact that I felt like all I was good for was playing Throne on stream, you know? So come April, I just decided I was going to stop. I basically just said, I am done streaming for X amount of time. We'll see what I need to do. I took like 2 weeks where I just didn't stream at all. And then I started doing the Monday Throne again. And it's just kind of been working my way back into it from there. This month has been a lot better. Things are feeling better now. So
good. I'm glad to hear it.
It was a good mental health break for the month, you know?
Yeah, I think more streamers should take a mental health break. But yeah,
it's so addictive, the like streaming, especially when you've got some viewers like, you know, you and me. We have some viewers from time to time. We know what it's like to have regulars and stuff. It's so addictive.
Yeah, it's
so hard to not like. You see those numbers and you see like you get that social high, you know, but you're like, in the comfort of your home all by yourself. Like living the life, you know. Like
summed it up so well. Yeah, people don't realize it's addictive.
Like
it's like an approval validation thing, right? Like
it totally is, and that also ties into the whole reason why I needed to take a break, because I needed to stop using that as my sole validation of worth, you know?
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting year for me, for sure. It's been a roller coaster off and on, I tell you what.
Yeah. Who knew 2019?
Yeah, I know, right? And now we're kicking off this Sekiro speedrun soon,
Yes.
so hopefully
I'm
I can... Oh my god, I've already done a couple of the skips. It's not that hard, but I have a feeling the last half is going to be a freaking nightmare to route. The last half is basically water abuse, where you go out of bounds in water and it makes water everywhere.
Oh.
So you kind of swim around
the
the structure of the map itself. Yeah, you need to grab the flippers. It's like a throwback to Zelda. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the world record for Sekiro any percent, the evil route, is 22 minutes and some change right now. I'm not sure if Distortion 2 still holds it or not, but
that's quick.
Yeah, really fast. So, you know, that's the goal. Maybe in 5 or 6 years, we might be able to get there. But
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Me too. It'll be good to have a focus outside of a, you know, throne all day, all night.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, talking about streaming for not just a hobby, but for like other things, is there anywhere you'd like streaming to take you, maybe career-wise, or I don't know. Where do you want to go with it?
Well, just like every single affiliate on Twitch, I will say, I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not doing this for the fame. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, like, I'm sorry. Quick aside, I feel like there's like this like canned response that people give to that question that I was trying to make fun of there.
I got it.
But I didn't want to come off like a dickhead in case other people are actually like that, so, you know. But no, I mean, as far as streaming goes, I love the idea of being a full-time streamer. That would be great. That would be living the dream. You know, if I could crack down, discipline myself enough to do it full-time and just stick it out until it happened, that would be ideal. But to be more realistic, honestly, I've been thinking about going back into school and going to broadcasting school.
Wow.
And maybe taking what I've learned with all the audio hardware stuff that I fucking love to mess with, and turning it into like an actual career.
That's so cool. Yeah, you have a great voice.
I also listen. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of NPR too, so
Yes.
I could totally see myself being like a radio host at some point. But I know you gotta work your way up from the bottom for that stuff. So it's gonna be like learn the hardware, learn the software, do the work, then wait for it to happen. You know what I mean? Like you don't just get a fucking radio show at a major station and because you graduated from broadcasting school.
Yeah, podcasts are pretty big at the moment. Would you want to do a podcast?
You know, I don't think I would have anything to talk about. I'm sure I could figure something out, but I think the podcast market is a little saturated right now. I don't want to. I'm gonna sound like a total asshole a couple times here, but my honest opinion is that streamers should stick to streaming. And YouTubers should stick to YouTube. I have this pet peeve of mine where like it's especially prominent in YouTube. I don't know a lot of streamers that have done their own podcast. I just see it all over the internet, like X streamer starts podcast, blah blah blah. It's okay.
And YouTubers.
That's what we're doing nowadays. Yeah. But YouTubers, they're starting to do live streams. Like there's a lot. I like watching like creepypastas and like weird, you know, unsolved mysteries and stuff like that on YouTube. And a lot of these YouTubers that I love and have watched for years are starting to do live streams. And let me just tell you, they're not good at it.
Yeah.
Like it's awkward. It's dull. It's not the concise storytelling that I expect. And it drives me nuts. And I'm not saying that like Twitch streamers who make a podcast are going to fall to that trap too, but I just, as far as personally, I think we should stick to what we're good at and not force things, you know, like if it goes there, it goes there. I feel like some people are just trying too hard, you know?
Yeah. There's nothing like listening to a podcast and you're like, wow, this is boring. Turn it off.
Right? Oh my God.
Feels real bad.
As an aside, though, too, I'm a huge podcast fan. I listen to podcasts like every day. I love true crime. True crime genre is my jam.
Oh, so good. I think I recommended an Australian one to you, I think. Maybe.
Was it Case File?
No, but that's good.
Case File's awesome. Yeah. That's the Australian one that I keep up on.
The real big one.
That one's got some crazy stories. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, pretty fascinating.
I just started listening to one called Dr. Death, and it's about this neurosurgeon who lost his fucking mind and somehow slipped through the system's grasp over and over again until he had crippled like 29 patients and killed like 2 of them with spinal surgeries.
Whoa.
That he botched like intentionally. Yeah, it's like usually I listen to these when I'm going to sleep. That one's been keeping me up because it's so kind of grisly to hear about like what a botched surgery can do to somebody.
Oh my God.
Oh man. We won't go any further than that.
Yeah.
But if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, check out Dr. Death. It's a podcast on Wondery. It's great.
Sounds gruesome.
It is. Yeah, it's one of the more graphic. I'd put it up there with like Sword and Scale as far as like
I've heard
gruesome.
Good things about Sword and Scale.
Sword and Scale's okay. The host is kind of a straight up D-bag, and he actually
really?
kind of got removed from his position in order to keep the podcast on the I think it's a Wondery podcast still. He made a comment on Twitter like,
here we go.
I wish I had a girl to like dismember and like explore on my own or something, and everybody took it as this like giant sexist like statement, and it sounded a lot worse than I'm saying it now. And I think he was right to step down, but he's still the writer on Sword and Scale.
Oh no.
And the very fucking first episode they did afterwards was all about this story of a guy who got victimized because everybody talked bad things. They took his words out of context and drove him insane, and everybody's so fucking politically correct.
Victim.
It's like, dude, like, okay, you got a new host, but they're clearly reading your words, dude. Like, don't be such a fucking baby.
The real
people really should know better. Sorry, this is like the most rambling interview.
I love it.
I am not good. I'm not good at staying on topic. I hope this is all right.
I love this though. I love this format because you never know where it's gonna go.
This is true. Plus, it's great to hang out with you for a bit.
I know. That's what I was saying. Like,
shit.
It's so good.
We've been trying to do this for what, like 3 months now? I just had my little like mental breakdown for a brief period there, so that was part of the delay. Was my fault.
I'm
but
glad you're all right.
I am doing fine.
So, I have a question about your streaming senpais. Is there anyone who's a streamer that you look up to and you really like their stream?
Yes. Oh man, that's a great question. You got me all hyped now. So, first of all, I would say that let's see, who. I'm trying to think of how to even start this. There's such a list of going through in my head. Well, I first started watching Twitch for like retro speedruns, basically, like watching GDQ, Games Done Quick, and whatnot. That was really what introduced me to Twitch, was Games Done Quick back in the day. So I would basically take like some of the runners that I enjoyed watching on GDQ and check out their Twitch. So my first inspiration, really, and to this day one of my favorite streamers is Cats on Your Head. You are not YOUR, Cats on Your Head. She has this really chill, she's like the every man or every woman speedrunner, where it's not about competition, it's not about world records, it's about like hanging out and playing these janky games and making fun of them and seeing how fast you can do them and whatnot. She's amazing. Super inspiring. I think she was my first subscription that I tossed to somebody on Twitch too. So yeah, Cats on Your Head is someone who inspired me. JC is another retro speedrunner. He is a Battletoads god, basically. But he's been doing a lot of Castlevania And what he does with his stream is kind of what I'm going to do with Sekiro, or what I'm going to try to do. Is he starts a speed run and he like learns it on stream. He'll have like a browser up that he can pull up, and you'll watch the video and see what he's trying to do for reference, and then he'll go back and, you know, just practice over and over and over again, you know, thousands of times, in some like single screens sometimes, you know. But it's basically like, watch this guy build a speed run until he gets a world record, and it's really impressive.
So cool. Must be satisfying.
Plus he's also, it's really satisfying if you're into that kind of thing. And plus he's like the gross uncle that I've never had and always wanted. It's just like, he's always got a coffee in one hand and a beer in the other, and he just like belches and like farts, and like and like his like shout out to subscribers is like, you're the J Seaman aboard the J Cruise. Nice. And he's like, yeah, everybody enjoy your cream pie. That's his thing. So
you never know who you're gonna find on Twitch.
Oh my god, he's amazing. So yeah, if that sounds entertaining, JC at JAYCEE is fantastic, super inspiring to me. And then lastly, but not like, you know, the last one that I can think of right now is probably going to be a recent favorite of mine that I found. Caitlin, she is a ferret streamer. Well, in that she has ferrets as well. She has a ferret, and she's a competitive Overwatch player. And she has, bar none, the coolest fucking lighting setup in her camera frame, like in her room, I have ever seen. It is so badass. She's got the ring light on her, and then in the background she's got like this brick wall and like these fucking colored lights up on it, awesome. And like all these decorations and a guitar, and like, oh, it's just so like Christmas lights on a little tree. It's just so beautiful. But she's super chill. She'll bring her ferret out and show you, so give him some love on stream. And yeah, so she's super inspiring to me as well, because she is proof positive that you can use your ferrets on stream and still get partners. She has 84,000 followers.
Wow.
And yeah, loves ferrets. So super inspiring. How could that not inspire me?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's so sweet.
So yeah, those are the big three, I think. If I was to like, I'm not really big on watching the like huge streamers, you know, like Moon or Soda Poppin'. Like, I got nothing against those guys. They're entertaining, but I like a stream where you can kind of interact with the streamer a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Seems like once you hit a certain point, your chat is just its own little entity, and you just kind of ignore it, you know? I don't know how the fuck Moon does it. Like, watching Moon snipe like little lines out of chat and reply to them is amazing to me.
I think Moon's mind just works really, really fast though.
Dude, that guy is so smart and so hilarious. Yeah, I have a lot of respect for him. If I had to pick one streamer that I respected as far as like big streamers go, it'd probably be Moon or Baru, one of the two. They're kind of two sides of the same coin, I feel like super entertaining streamers, whereas Moon is like fucking asshole community, and Baru's like the notorious, super disgustingly adorable community, you know?
So good.
So yeah, that's about that about takes care of my big streamers that I really wanted to give some shout outs and love to.
All right. Do you have any advice for anyone wanting to start streaming?
Yeah. Don't get down on yourself when no one wants to watch you, because when you're just starting, there's so much fucking competition out there.
Oh my goodness, so
like,
saturated.
That is like, me personally, I got so down on myself for so long because I watched Barles and Luthamir, my two IRL friends I started streaming with, get affiliate before me. And I was like, fuck, man, what am I doing wrong?
Oh, no.
Just need to show up, not get down on yourself about it. Like, I feel like showing up is like half the battle. If you can show up and keep a regular schedule, which I'm sure chat's gonna find that hilarious coming out of my mouth. But if you can keep up and just show up and try to keep a regular schedule, I feel like that's like half the battle. You know, the other half is kind of out of your control. It's like just who's gonna stumble into your channel and think you're cool, you know, think that you're worth hanging out with, and that can take some time. I feel like.
Yeah, I totally agree.
You know, and I would also say if you find a niche, don't feel like you need to just keep that going. Like, I have a complicated relationship with Throne of Lies, like, if that makes sense.
Well, I would say your niche is ferrets. So.
Fair point. Yeah. Fair point. I meant kind of like, don't paint yourself into a corner with like a single game. You know, if you have good success with one game, it's probably not going to translate over to everything else right away. One of the things that kind of got me down too, and still is something to this day that I kind of have to like check myself, is when you go from having 50 viewers watching you play one game, and then you're like, oh, cool. Well, these people will probably want to watch you play a different game. And then you have like 4 people watching you play a different game for like hours and hours, and no one shows up. Don't hold it against the viewers, and don't hold it against yourself. It just is what it is. You know, like, I did a Plague Tale, and I had single digits until about 7 hours into my stream. And then I started meeting some random people and whatnot. You know, you just got to like stick with it. Just stick it out, see what happens. You never know what's going to happen. Once you go live.
Yeah, I love that about it.
Me too. It's like the unpredictable aspect of it. It keeps it fresh, you know?
Yeah. Oh my god, I thought that was milk. Drinking this huge carton.
I'll be honest with you, Teg. That's exactly how I drink milk too. But no, this is vodka. It's fine.
How many liters is that?
3.78 liters of
that must be heavy.
Straight vodka. It's a gallon of water. It's all right.
Don't tell him.
I read it. Oh shit! I'm actually getting really drunk, guys.
That's what they expect.
I know. God. That's one thing I've been working on too, is not drinking on stream. I am such a sloppy fucking drunk man. I embarrass myself. I almost, without a doubt, if I get drunk when I'm streaming, the next day I'm gonna get up and go on Discord and ask one of my regulars, like, hey, was I too fucking stupid last night? Like, was I drooling and like slurring my words all over the place? Ashy.
Oh, Dallas says YOLO.
YOLO. Yeah, my Nightbot encourages everybody. Like, tell Nightbot to go get some coffee. Nightbot wants you to slam a beer. It's so rude.
That is not a caring viewer. Not that, anyway, forget it.
Yeah, he's selfish. He's real self-centered. So I hear that's what alcoholism does to somebody, though. So you know.
So the viewer questions will be after just a couple of more questions. So if you have any, leave them. I've been collecting them as chat's going.
Oh boy, we got an AMA going here.
Interesting ones, even some from yesterday. So.
Ooh, all right.
But
I'm excited too.
I'd love to talk about.
Put me on the hot seat.
No pressure. I'd love to talk about where you think the industry is going. Do you think Twitch will be around for a long time? And maybe how you think it will change over time, or
That's an interesting question. That's something I honestly have not put a lot of thought into.
Yeah,
I just kind of think of Twitch as like something that's kind of there and it exists, and it's like, I don't really think about its future that much, but I think it's going to be around for a while. I think it's going to become a bigger and bigger thing. I think right now, people who are in the biz, in the scene, if you will, think that it's a lot bigger out in the real world than it actually is, if that makes sense. Case in point, did you see the New Year's Eve celebration with Ninja?
Yes.
Did you see him trying to get a crowd of incredulous adults to floss and no one knew what the fuck was going on? That is actually a real... That's like a real snapshot of the way things are out there, I feel like, though. And I think it's easy to get lost when you're surrounded by it all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's such a social thing, you know? Like, you get sucked in, and it becomes your kind of like a big part of your social life, you know. But like I was working the last restaurant I was working at, like bunch of people my age, bunch of people younger than me, you know, few people older than me. One coworker close to my age knew what Twitch was.
Wow.
Everybody else was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Are you serious?"
I know, it
It's like,
blows your mind, right?
They're like, "Yeah, we play video games, but like, what? People get paid to play video games?" Yeah, it's like Twitch processes billions of dollars worth of payments every fucking month. Like, yeah, it's a big thing, but there's a lot of money there, but it's so niche still. I feel like it's not something you flip on TV and like see on cable television. It's not something you have to seek out, like competitive gaming if you want to watch it still. You know what I mean? Like, you might get lucky and maybe it's on ESPN or something occasionally or whatever, but I still.
And it's crazy because the revenue is
massive.
The disparity between the revenue and the exposure is just insane.
It's really insane. It really goes to show that people will support stuff they like, regardless of what everyone in general thinks about it. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, so many people ask me, like, why people pay you? I'm like, well, they don't pay me. They like support me. You know what I mean? Like, people don't seem to get that we're not sitting here begging for money, but we are putting our time into it. You know what I mean? And like, so any support that comes along is more than welcome. But, you know, it's not something that we're sitting there begging for, asking for, actively pushing for, you know?
Yeah, and it's not like you produce a piece of paper at the end and like, that's what I did today, and then you sign off on it. Like, when people say, oh, they pay you, it's like, well, it's
not really. It's a little different. It's not like they're handing me cash that I can go pull out of the ATM right away. But I mean, let's be realistic though. At the same time, it is a big business. You are putting your time into it, and you know, it fucking drives me nuts when I hear people say, like streamers say, like, oh no, I'm not in it for the money, man. I'm not in it for anything. I'm just here to hang out, to meet people. I'm like, dude, you're full of shit, man. Like, you are in it for all those things you're saying, but you're also in it because the money's there. You wouldn't be putting this much time into it if it wasn't. Like, and I feel like, you know, that's not true for everybody, obviously, but all too often I feel like that's the go-to canned response of like the safe response for the streamer to say, like, well, I'm not in it for that. I just stream 40 hours a week because I like hanging out. It's like, I doubt that.
Like, I wish it could just be one thing, you know, like, yes, it's only, I only come for chat, you know?
Absolutely. But you know, it's complicated. It's complex. It's not, it's hard to simplify down to one little like sentence, like I stream because I like to hang out with people. You know, it's like, it's more than that. It is that, but it's more than that.
Because I think
I don't know.
Streamers who put in that many hours, it could never just be one thing. Like, there's so many aspects that they love about it that come together to be the whole experience.
Exactly. And like, yeah, I don't know. This is one of my unpopular opinions, I feel like. So it makes me a little bit wary to like be like, well, I think everybody's actually in it for the money. That's not what I'm saying, though. But I don't know. I like being real with people. I like being real, and if we're being real, I know that not every goddamn new affiliate is just the fun. I know that's not true, guys. That's fine. I'm not gonna call you out, but I know you're not being honest here.
I feel like I've told a lot of people, once you hit affiliate, that's when the real work starts.
Indeed.
And people say that about partner, and I'm like, really?
Oh my god, I bet. Actually, you know, it looks like that golden fucking temple on the hill, but once you get there, it's actually this decrepit piece of shit that needs a lot of work and a lot of upkeep to really get off the ground, you know? You might have your regulars show up to worship with you at your shitty temple, but you got to really work at it once you own it. That's my metaphor. There we go. Your shitty little temple. Yes, so you got partner. Time to get to work. At least like the I don't know. once you get there, I feel like you at least have a base that you can look at and be like, this is what I have done, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas affiliate can kind of feel transient, you know, like
Mm.
can kind of feel like fleeting in a way. Like sometimes you have a really great stream. Well, sometimes you have a really great month, and then other times you just have like a shit month where like nothing really happens, you know, and the stream's kind of dull. There's no real growth, you know, and I don't know. I feel like there's this self-reinforcing cycle in Twitch where, you know, you look at a game on Twitch and see all the people streaming it, and it's from the most viewers to the least. So people who want to check out somebody new are going to go from top to bottom on that list. And generally speaking, if you have more viewers, you're going to get more people looking at you, you know? So I feel like partner status, it's not like the checkmark does that.
Yeah.
But I feel like the partner status kind of indicates that these streamers have reached that point where they have this base.
Yeah.
You know, they've worked for it.
It's like validation. Like, yes, this person's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Validation and the opportunities that come with it, you know?
Yeah. All right, let's move on to some viewer questions. Here's one from yesterday. This is the hard-hitting journalism that I love about doing these interviews. DFG, are you ready?
Yeah.
We didn't actually talk about food, but I know you're big into food. This is food related.
Food related? All right. Got me.
Would you rather give up
me.
breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Go.
Rick,
That's from Taz.
that is a hard-hitting question. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
good luck.
So
I know you love
well,
breakfast.
I've already given up. I love breakfast, but I don't eat it during the breakfast hours. So does that count? Can I say that I'll give up morning breakfast and keep afternoon and night breakfast?
Well, someone
that-
said yesterday, if you give up breakfast, you give up all breakfast foods.
Oh shit.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, not a chance. I love breakfast foods. Lunch. I definitely give up lunch. I could go without sandwiches if I was going to be having a good entree at dinner, you know?
I don't know if I could give up
Yes,
lunch.
spoiler alert, I do eat a bunch of sandwiches for lunch. That's my go-to.
What's your favorite sandwich?
I like cold cuts. I'm a big fan of like going to the deli, getting some cheese slices and getting some cheese sliced. Not cheese slices sounds like I'm talking about fucking crap. No.
We call it plastic cheese here.
Exactly, plastic cheese, not that real cheese. Get some meats, get some lettuce, onion, tomato, some good mustard, some mayonnaise, wheat bread. That's my kind of sandwich. Right now, I think I have a ham and turkey in the fridge with some smoked provolone.
Oh, I'm ready.
Sounds really good right now, actually. I might have to eat something before I go back on stream later.
Sounds so good. I want a sandwich now.
Sorry, just everybody take 5. Go get lunch, everybody. It's fine.
Lunch break. Well,
lunch break.
I've heard a lot of questions. There's been quite a few people asking, why did you lick Azzy? And everyone's asking why you licked your cat. They want to know more about it.
Because chat told me to. It was your fault, chat. It was your fault. You saw me in a moment of weakness. I had drank like 9 beers at that point. We were on the 12-hour stream. We were in Subnautica. I was pooping my pants left and right. And somebody was like, lick the cat. And I did. And you've judged me ever since for it, chat.
Things streamers say. Chat made me do it.
Chat made me do it. Oh, man. Maybe that's why Azzy doesn't come out very often when I'm streaming nowadays. Like, he's gone right now.
Yeah, where's he going? He doesn't want to get licked again.
He likes to sleep in my room, especially like during the summer when I leave my fan on in there for him.
That's so sweet. I have a million questions from our friend Randomilia. They're absolutely
what up, Ramelia?
fantastic. But this one's related to paranoia. Which is preferable to lick, the cat or the goo?
Definitely the cat. Eating the goo, I don't recommend at all. Ron Melia can attest that did him no favors. Also, Smoozle, if you're listening, I still owe you a bomb in your mouth.
The war will begin again.
Dude, that was so much fun. That was so much fun. Lick cats, not goo. How's that? That's my slogan for today.
So how much showmanship do you put on for your stream?
How much showmanship? How much do I act? I exaggerate. Yeah. I'm generally pretty chill. When I'm a little more animated, I'm probably nervous, to be honest. Because to me, stress relief comes from like making jokes and talking, so sometimes, maybe even right now a little bit, you'll see me getting a little nervous. But yeah, the showmanship, I don't know. I kind of do the same things on stream that I do when I'm hanging out with my friends, minus the ferrets and cats, because obviously if my friends are in the room with me, I don't need to like pick up the ferret. Hey, look at Blue Bear. But I mean, generally speaking, I just kind of try to treat viewers like I would treat my friends in the same room. If people want to talk, then I'll talk with them. People are being dumb, I'll ignore them. If people are, like asking questions, I'll answer them. I generally just try to keep it real. I know that sounds cheesy, but it's a lot of work to put on a fucking show all the time,
Yeah, I've seen you be, heaps hype. I've seen you be heaps chill. So I feel like it's real. It feels authentic.
Yeah, exactly. I like, I don't know. I guess I just have trouble not being authentic sometimes. Like if I'm in a bad mood, it's hard for me to put that aside, hop on stream and hey, have a good time with everybody. Odds are I probably will just not stream that night, that's the kind of that's just the person I am. Yeah. So yeah.
Let me see. Oh, what's your favorite kind of burger?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say bird.
I forgot about the hatred of birds.
They're not so bad these days. My favorite kind of burger. Oh my god, that's a hard one. A jalapeno popper burger. How's that? That's my favorite.
Whoa.
You take a quarter pound of beef, you make a patty, grill it or fry it, however you like it. You put a pat of cream cheese on top, some brined jalapenos, like pickled jalapenos, some barbecue sauce, some bacon, jalapeno popper burger.
This guy.
It's not an original recipe. I got it from a place I worked at a long time ago, but it is the recipe that I usually go to when I'm trying to impress a girl or something.
Ooh.
Yeah, Secrets. Shut up. I make burgers to impress girls, okay? That's just my life, all right? God, don't you? I hear you judging me. I feel it.
Me or chat?
Not you, Tag, chat. No, you're perfect and amazing in all ways, Tag. If definitely addressing chat there.
Chat, I'm looking at you. Welcome in, Taz. You just missed your question, but DFG is giving up lunch.
Lunch
is
definitely.
Dead to us. Go on. Laser says girls love burgers. And look.
Yeah, there we go.
I have to agree. All right.
Perfect.
What's your personal definition of success in streaming? Like for yourself or in general, if they're different?
For myself, showing up and actually like sticking to the schedule that I'm trying to do. That's like my ultimate goal right now, is to actually like find a schedule that I can stick with and find a life balance in there as well. You know what I mean? So to me, I mean, success at streaming would obviously the long-term goal to have my own little biz and, do full-time streaming and pay the bills like that.
Yeah.
But that's a real long-term goal. So for now, I think success in streaming to me, meet some new people and show up when I say I'm going to show up. That's and don't make promises that I can't keep, because I am so bad. I am so bad about that. Like,
I think,
hey guys, I'll be streaming tomorrow. I'll be there. Don't worry, we'll have a great time. And then like a week later, I'll be like, all right, I'm actually going on now.
I'm here.
That's where the late emote came into. Like sometimes I just like lay in bed and I'm like, oh, if I can only go back to sleep for another hour.
Do you find that knowing what you're going to stream that day, like, that helps to be able to stick to a schedule? Or do you think that...
Yeah, I would say so. I would actually take it a step further and say it helps if I feel like I don't have to sit there and play Throne every time I stream.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you've discovered this.
Oh God, I know I like harp on this a lot, but it was just such a trap for me for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been so liberating to get out of that, even though, you know, it's not as exciting all the time, but it's exciting in a different way, you know?
Yeah, I find choosing a game is the #1 hardest thing for me. So,
right.
Yeah, so it helps if I know what I'm going to do ahead of time. But it's so hard to pick.
You've been having some really good growth lately too. I've been seeing your channel's been going great.
Doing all right.
Very proud of you.
I think playing some big games that are still current and have a big following behind them really helps to find new friends.
Heck yes. Yeah. Heck yes.
Yeah, so I think your Sekiro speedruns are going to be hit the mark.
Oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait. That's also a speedrun that I can watch people do world records on and not feel like I'm completely over my head. Like, I tried speedrunning Celeste, and I've actually got a pretty decent time for a total amateur speedrunner, but it's such a complicated series of... It's like an endurance run of, like, specific motions for over an hour, and that is so intimidating to me to see somebody do that so flawlessly. And then go back and I'm, like, struggling on the first 2 screens to do, like, a simple dash. Oh man, so like, but for whatever reason, like games like Sekiro and Dark Souls, those don't really intimidate me like platformers kind of do. So, really looking forward to getting that started. Actually, see how that goes.
Do you have a day you're gonna start? Do you know which?
Probably after this.
Oh! Hey.
Probably pop on. I've got another half a pot of coffee out there, so nothing much going on.
Nice. Perfect.
Yeah. We finished a Plague Tale earlier, so.
GG.
Thank you. Excellent game.
Do you draw a distinction between IRL friends and internet friends? I find this question...
cut out there.
Oh, sorry. I find this question really, really interesting. Do you draw a distinction between IRL friends and internet friends?
Yeah, absolutely. Not like on purpose, but just... Well, that's a really interesting question, actually.
Yeah, because I've had some friends who've struggled with this, and have sort of had to make a bigger distinction between the two. So yeah, I find it really interesting.
I would say that I have had to draw a line clearly as, for example, the Discord has grown.
Because like you share a lot and you hope that everyone, you know, is on the same page and has your best interests at heart, but then you never really know, right?
You're really kind of like, you know, at the whim of the public. You can't really know somebody via text, I don't feel like. You know what I mean? But at the same time, that's kind of like an insulation, like a barrier against having to be vulnerable and open with people. You know what I mean? And for a person like me, like I was very open and honest and just like speaking mind and whatnot with the Discord. But as it's been growing, I've kind of found myself kind of pulling back from that. Not because of any person in particular, but just because like, I don't know. I feel like it's really easy to let the crowd control the way I feel, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
If I open up to a bunch of random people and somebody says something that offends me, you know, it's like, do I hold that against them? Probably not. I should probably not be so open with people I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, but IRL friends, like I'm not like a big social dude. I don't go out. I don't party. I'm 33 years old. Of course I don't party, but I don't really consider myself a social butterfly.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. So my IRL friends are people I've generally known for at least 5 or 6 plus years. And it's a small group, but we're a really tight group. So to me, there's always going to be a distinction between like IRL friends and online friends, just because my IRL friends and me are so close and they know me so well.
Yeah.
So
some of them are in the Planet Pleb community. That's the Discord that you share.
Yes, that is me and Barles Charkley X and Luthamir. Yeah. We started that when we started streaming last year.
So good. It's always popping in there.
It is. It's crazy. Sometimes I'll come on in the morning and look. Oh my god, I have a message up on. Woof. No, that's awesome though. I love that. I love that little community we've got growing. That's one of my favorite parts about Twitch is like making a community.
Yeah.
Where the fuck else could you do that so easily?
Exactly.
In real life,
it's like a little world.
Like I could go set up a fucking station on the street and play video games, and just put a sign that says like DatFerretGuy at Twitch, and I would not make a community like that. Yeah. You know, like a Twitch, you can sit down and from nothing network with a bunch of random people, which is essentially where I feel like most of us start, you know? Whereas in real life, you need to find like a crew or people who are interested, or, hey, I know my friend knows a person who goes to tournaments. Do you want to come to a Smash tournament and network? You know, like that kind of thing. It's so much easier to just sit down on Twitch and let it happen, you know?
Yeah. What's it like sharing that Discord with other streamers?
It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really distinguish between streamers and non-streamers too much in the Discord, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like I know who streams, but we're all just kind of hanging out and we're all just kind of, you know, chilling, doing our thing. The streamers in our Discord, they're welcome to ask us to add them to the bots. So when they go live, we have a channel for that that'll plug them. But other than that, I mean, we're all just a bunch of people there. We're all just friends, you know.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Plus, I'm a terrible Twitch viewer, so like, I rarely go around and view other people on Twitch. So if anybody's watching right now, that's a streamer, and you're like, man, I see Ferret Guy all the time, but he never shows up on my stream. I apologize sincerely. But that's just kind of how my life is. So
I'm a big lurker, so I don't even know if half the people know that I lurk in there because I don't say hi. So.
Oh shit, Tag, you're cutting out a little bit there.
Oh no. Was I alright on stream? I hope so.
I don't know if you're using push to talk on the Discord or what.
No, I'm not. I'm just on.
Just kind of like in and out.
Yeah. How's it now?
It's better now.
Better now? Okay, cool.
It's better. Yeah, sounds good.
Well, do we have any more questions from chat? I'll give you a couple of mins. Let me know if there's anything you want to know while we have the man in the seat. The hot seat.
Hey! Got me in the hot seat.
Bruno looks so cute. He's sleeping.
Oh, he's lurking, man.
Yeah, big lurker.
He's got one eye open. Like, he's such a good kitty, though. I don't know how I lucked out with the cats being so healthy at their age. I rarely ever have to take these guys to the vet. Yeah. They have allergies where they kind of have a little like congestion, but they never really get like sick to the point where I need to take them in.
So lucky.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know that's not going to last forever, so I'm kind of like, you know, appreciating what I got while I got it.
Yeah, well, my cat's 17. She's never had any problems.
Oh my god. Yeah. Are you serious?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Geriatric.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and she, you know, runs around and yells, and she's changed a lot. She's changed, but
these guys have changed. They're a lot more mellow. Bruno used to be insane when he was younger, chasing feet, chasing like anything that moved. He was nuts. There was one time when I was living in Michigan, 12 years ago, and I had first got Bruno, and he would, me and my girlfriend at the time had just a mattress like on the floor because we were fucking slumming it in college. And so Bruno would sit at the head of the mattress and look at our feet down at the other end under the covers, and when someone would move their toes, he would just like like hop the entire length of the mattress to get the toes. Which is adorable and hilarious until you're trying to sleep and you wake up to a cat biting and scratching your feet. He's a good kitty, though. Azzy used to be a hunter. Azzy used to go outside. So we would always leave a window open for him to come in and out. And he started bringing me birds one day. So that was the... not live birds.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, I can't imagine. Weirdo Horse asks, so you mentioned the social high from streaming. Would you say that the interplay between the text barrier and the social affirmation is a major streaming hurdle in itself? So the kind of the barrier of the text and the social affirmation, I guess, like, is that
like getting used to the fact that you're basically communicating with a bunch of text on your computer screen, and you're never going to put a face to these people. It wasn't really a hurdle for me, but I totally could see how it could be kind of weird for someone.
Yeah, because I feel like I've known people for years who are regulars. You know, I feel like
that's true.
Yeah,
you get this kind of connection with people over time. But I guess just in the sense that I don't know. I guess I'm not sure how to put what I'm trying to say. But basically, no, not really a hurdle for me. It just kind of happened. I feel like if you get thrust into it like I kind of did, like when I started playing Throne, I went from having an average of like 2 viewers to having an average of like double digits regularly. And so I kind of didn't really have time to think about it. Like it just started, like people were talking to me, and so I talked back, you know. Like,
learn on the job.
Exactly. Like just fake it till I make it. But I didn't really, I don't know. I guess I've always just been kind of an internet guy my whole life. You know, I'm 33. When I was growing up, the internet was first starting to be a thing when I was in my you know, single digits. And then as I grew up, the internet also was growing up with me. So I feel like I've always kind of been adapted to talking to people over just a screen of text, you know? Because fuck, back in the day, that's all we had. You know, we didn't have webcams and stuff like that. We would just we had cyber. Yeah, yeah. We would write basically erotic fan fiction about ourselves to somebody else on the internet, and that was how you got off back in the day.
AOL.
There was no chat. AOL Instant Messenger. And the chat rooms. Oh my god.
I think about it. I was like 11. What was I doing in there? How did I get in there?
That's. I think we all are going to be asking questions like. Just because of our age and the way the internet was back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that. Imagine a world with no chatterbait, kids. Holy crap, right? If you wanted to find porn, man, you had to really
read a book.
You had to read a book. Go get one of Mom's romance novels.
Laser says, do you imagine what some of your viewers look like?
When I'm feeling super nervous.
Sorry, you cut out for a second there.
Oh, I was.
Did you say you imagine them naked?
Yeah. No. Oh. Yes. Yes. No. I honestly don't. I honestly can't say I do.
Yeah, I think I do, but they all kind of look like one person.
Just this generic, like, human type person that you're talking.
Yeah.
It's kind of a blank canvas.
Yeah. Eliza also says you had to call sex workers on the phone on your dial-up phone.
Oh my god. With my dial-up with the rotary, the old rotary. Dude, speaking of phones, let's also give a shout out to old car phones. Do you remember those?
What?
Where you had to like the, oh my god, old car, like before there were cellular phones, there were car phones.
I think I've seen this on an old show or something.
They were like boxes, like fucking. It was like a phone you'd mount on your wall, but it went like in the center console. It just sat there. It was a corded phone hooked up to this thing. You plugged it into your cigarette lighter for it to get power, and oh my god, Google it. It's amazing to look at. Like, it's amazing. But yeah, we had one of those too. We were really on the cutting edge of technology back in the 80s and 90s, I feel like.
Absolutely.
We had that slick 56K V90 modem. Oh god.
I can still remember the sound. Why did it make those noises?
That was called a handshake, and that was it communicating all of your credentials for your login, as well as communicating the type of information being transferred, like the protocols used for the information transfer. I know this because I have a computer tech degree.
I was gonna say this is informed knowledge.
I was gonna say that's a question I can answer for you definitively. It's called handshaking, and it's basically the two computers talking to each other and determining how they're gonna transmit data and making sure that you have the right credentials to access that data.
Right.
Yep.
I just assumed it was part of the experience.
It's just the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays you'd be forgiven for thinking that because that's like completely obsolete.
Yeah.
You know, like you never hear that sound anymore.
Yeah.
Period. It's like man, you know what else is obsolete that had a nice aesthetic was dot matrix printers. Oh.
No.
Like line by line. Oh my god. You'd hear them in like grocery stores and stuff back in the day.
What?
All of the receipt printers would be like dot matrix printers.
Whoa. Far
How do we get talking about like retro shit? This is awesome. It's just a trip down memory lane is what this interview turned into.
So good. I'm glad.
Indeed.
Well, where can everyone find you?
Everyone can find me at twitch.tv/DatFerretGuy. DatFerretGuy.
Yes.
That would be me.
Nice. And you're DatFerretGuy on Twitter too, right?
I am DatFerretGuy on all social media. Shockingly, that was not taken on anything, so I scooped it all. I don't even use half the fucking accounts that I have with that name right now.
Yeah, just save them.
Just placeholders. Like I have an Instagram that I just haven't touched. Like, it's like, nope, that's my name. If you guys aren't using it, I'll take it. How is that possible though? You know, like I figured that would be taken somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's
Lucked out.
It's just unique. You did it.
Yeah, I did it. Well, it beats the hell out of my old name.
Oh yes. Your emote prefix.
Yeah. One of the drawbacks for affiliates is that we can't change our prefix. I actually sent a message to Twitch support about that and got a nice curt little reply like, oh, nope, you're not a partner. You can get wrecked.
Yep.
You're stuck with it. You have to explain to everybody that is your email.
Yeah.
This is what you get for not thinking about your branding 5 years before you started streaming.
Yeah.
Dummy. Like,
well, there's 26 other people with the word classic starting their name when I became a user, so I'm classy27. That's my prefix.
Yup. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't realize that's why we're there, because there's other. Okay, that makes sense. I always just thought maybe it was like an aesthetic choice.
Well, if you think it looks good, I'll go with it. I'll take it.
Well, I should have put two and two together and realized that we can't change it even if we wanted to. So it wasn't even your choice. Rip. So no, yeah. In case anybody doesn't know, my name was Balls Mahogany before. Look, it was my Counter-Strike name in high school.
Fuck. First username.
Thank God I did. Dude, thank God I didn't do any like competitive gaming with that name because I would be fucking stuck with it.
Oh my god. Headlining team.
Right? Balls
Captain
Mahogany.
Balls Mahogany.
Good God. Said no team ever. We don't give a fuck if this guy's the next Shroud. We don't want him on our team with that name. Nobody's gonna take us seriously.
Well, because the casters would have to be like, and balls. Just gotta kill.
Balls. I shortened it on some because some places you can't use the word balls, you know, because their sensors are real strong. So it would be Bema Hog, which just has a whole different terrible context to it, really.
God.
I wanted to abbreviate it, you know, B.Mahog, but then it comes out looking like, hey, be my hog, baby. Mm-hmm. Like, I just sound like a fucking, like, country boy. No offense to the country boys. I love you.
Chat saying BM for short.
BM, even better. Just another fucking word for poop. Great. See, that name was bad all around. There was no reason that I should have stuck with it. I should have just made a new Twitch account, to be honest. No, I could have had DatFert or whatever, DatFer as a prefix, but that's too late now.
Yep, you're off. There's no going back.
We're off. There's no going back. We just gotta hope to God we partner sometime before we, before the end of time.
Oh, well, this has been an absolute pleasure. You had me in stitches.
This has been super fun, Tag. Aw, I'm so glad. It was good to see you and talk to you, man. I haven't sat down and like really hung out with you. I don't think we've ever actually had a long chat before. So it's fucking great. It's great. Thank you so much, Tag, for thinking of me. I'm sorry it took me so long to get here.
No, I'm so glad. Thank you for spending the time to stop in.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Let me come back and say hi to chat. Poop bucket. Oh my God. Everybody's talking about hogs and bowels. Guys.